Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. Now, if this doesn't tug on the old heartstrings, I don't know what will. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment. Enjoy the video.
Mother's amazing love ends in bittersweet tragedy, and a community's love brings the family hope. Sometimes it's hard to know at what point we become adults. I can remember thinking when I was a child that every birthday I would wake up and feel different, feel a bit older. It was always somewhat surprising and disappointing that every birthday I would wake up and feel exactly the same as I had the day before. I got to thinking that maybe something special happens when you turn 18. In UK law, that's when you're legally an adult. Maybe in the USA, kids think the same thing. When I hit 21, I'll know all the secrets that adults know. Seriously, I always thought there was this mysterious, magical point at which everything changed and I became a grown-up. There's a bit of a pop culture word I see buzzing around the internet sometimes. Maybe you've seen it: adulting. It's usually used by young people, maybe 18 to 25, who find themselves doing things they would never have considered as a child. Somebody might post a picture of themselves online doing their car insurance with the caption, "Look, I'm adulting." Because the point is, becoming an adult doesn't happen in one sudden jump. It's gradual. It creeps in, much like the aches and pains do. But there is one big, epic and very specific exception to this rule, isn't there? That's when we become parents. It's not just our circumstance that changes, or just our responsibilities, but something really does change suddenly and dramatically inside us, as for the first time in our lives we find out what it really, really means to be unselfish. It can be an astonishing, revealing experience which occurs over quite a brief period, when we realise that there is somebody we love so much, somebody we would do anything for, somebody in our lives who is more important to us even than our own selves. And that's talking as a man. I can't imagine how it feels as a mother to have had that person, that new part of you, grow inside you and then become its own unique individual person, yet still profoundly connected at birth, utterly dependent on you, loving you and accepting you completely as a mother. I feel sorry for people who don't wonder at the deep mystery and miracle of birth and motherhood. I know not all mothers feel this instant bond and love. Sometimes it takes time, but it comes. I think most parents would say that they would die for their children, but of course we hope very much that we're never in a position where we have to make that choice. Sadly, in a tragic turn of events, one young mother was faced with exactly that terrible decision: to save herself or to save her baby daughter, and she chose her daughter. In January 2017, Shelby Carter and her boyfriend were living in Wyoming, Illinois, when they had their whole lives ahead of them and had recently welcomed a baby girl into their lives, making them a wonderful new family. It's almost too difficult to write this, but stories like this should be heard, and mothers like Shelby Carter should be remembered. Tragedy struck one day when their house caught fire. The flames spread quickly, leaving Shelby Carter and her newborn baby daughter Kiana trapped upstairs with no way out. As a father myself, I can't imagine a worse or more terrifying scenario. The sheer panic, the horror of knowing what was coming. But this amazing mother did something incredible, something worth remembering her for, which, in her last moments, showed her true colours. With flames quickly engulfing the house, Shelby managed to compose herself enough to put the life of her darling daughter first. Thinking quickly, in all the panic and smoke, Shelby managed to think of a way to get her baby to safety: a car seat. Designed especially to keep infants safe in road traffic accidents, it would be perfect to protect her little girl from a fall. She strapped her daughter in, held her out of the second-floor window and dropped her to the ground. Sadly, in the following moments, Shelby Carter lost her life. It is hard to look on the bright side of a tragedy like this, but we should be thankful for the small mercy that she was overcome and died of carbon monoxide poisoning before she had to suffer the agony of the flames. Wyoming Spear Fire Protection District Chief Ed Fogelsonger said to the Washington Post that the way things had ended up was nothing short of a miracle. When they reached the scene, they quickly doused the flames and discovered the heartbreaking truth of what had happened on the second floor that day. But they also quickly discovered baby Kiana. Dropped from a second-story window in such desperate circumstances, it's easy to imagine that the tiny tot would have been badly injured or even killed. But no, she was absolutely fine. In her dying testimony to a mother's love, Shelby Carter had saved the one most precious to her. Wyoming, Illinois is a small town of just 1,400 residents, and news of the awful fire hurt the community badly. The whole town felt the grief and the sorrow for that little girl who will grow up without a mother. But she is also a little girl who will grow up to know how dearly she was loved and just how precious she is. The whole town pulled together and started a crowdfunding campaign to help the family get back on their feet after their awful experience. It must be so terribly hard to lose somebody in the prime of their life with so much to look forward to, and then think about bills and insurance and food shopping at a time when all you want to do is lie down and grieve. Thankfully, the campaign raised over $40,000 to help out in their very difficult time. If you have a faith, lift up some prayers for the family Shelby has left behind, and share this inspiring story of a mother's love for her daughter, a mother who deserves to be remembered.
Well, I don't know, I think you'd have to have a heart of stone if that didn't touch you somewhere deep inside. If you like these kinds of videos, then please subscribe, because we've got stacks of this kind of stuff. It's what we do. So click subscribe and then click the little bell that appears so that you'll get notifications each time we upload a new video. Don't forget to share it with your friends and let us hear your comments in the boxes below. Thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the video.